One of today's papers says Madonna's new book, Sex, is boring. Another calls it pathetic and weary. And for this, she wants America to pay $49.95 plus tax. David Lee Miller reckons the price tag for this collection of nude photos sounds more like naked greed.
For Madonna fans, the long-awaited day has finally arrived. Sex, the Material Girl's bare-all book, went on sale with a whopping $50 price tag.
The book has been doing extremely well. We've sold, I think, over 110 copies at this point.
But there are no cheap thrills in this picture book. If you want to see Madonna with men, Madonna with women, or Madonna with dogs, you've got to pay through the nose. Each book is wrapped to prevent free peeks.
We'll allow customers to open the book in the store if they really want to. We've had some people just tear it open right at the counter and look at it, but they're not allowed to show it to anyone else.
The picture book, meant for the more progressive coffee tables of America, has Madonna in more positions than even Penthouse publisher Bob Guccione could imagine, with celebrities as they've never been seen before. Isabella Rossellini in full men's drag, Vanilla Ice on the streets of Miami, and even Naomi Campbell wearing less than her usual runway attire. But despite people already lining up to plunk down their $50, a lot of literary types are claiming that Sex is hiding a lot more than its shocking pictures behind that protective plastic covering.
The binding doesn't really work when you try and close it. The rings actually hold the cover open. And
Richard Minsky of New York City Center of Book Art says the high-priced coffee table book just isn't worth the $50 they're charging.
I would doubt that it costs more than $6 or $7 to produce the book.
He says the numbers just don't add up.
I would suspect that the printing and paper for the contents may have cost $3 or so, and the production of the binding may have cost another $3 or so, tops.
Warner Books has distributed 500,000 copies of the $50 book nationwide. That adds up to a cool $25 million.
I think Madonna's book is buying her another mansion.
Warner Books spent millions promoting Sex, including this celebrity-packed fantasy party, complete with some strange guests, and one brave fan who had the image of the guest of honor tattooed on his buttocks.
He's laying there on his stomach with his butt in the air, and somebody was tattooing Madonna's face on his right cheek. So Madonna finally arrived and went straight to this guy who was getting the tattoo and said, "I am so flattered." And he said, "You should be."
Madonna has never been at a loss to express herself, but some fans speculate her blonde ambition may have gone too far this time.
We checked with bookstores across the country this afternoon. Most say Sex is selling well. We'll be right back with that stunning presidential vote. We'll also bring you an update on a track star who's just crossed the finish line in a marathon abuse case.
This case had nothing to do with money. That was just my only way to bring him to justice.
When your sinus and nasal congestion feels this bad, what can you do? Last year, you wanted to call the doctor. Last year, you wanted a prescription. But this year, Tavis D in its full prescription strength is available without a prescription. Just one tablet helps relieve 12 hours worth of painful congestion and sneezing.
Guess what? I'll be there after all.
Tavis D. One tablet, 12 hours, and now no prescription.
In a world no bigger than the sandbox, no deeper than the mud between toes, it's spray and wash that has gotten out the food, grease, and grass the little ones get into more than any other stain remover ever made. And that has given more mothers the quiet strength to send them back out into that little world to do it all over again. More than any other stain remover, spray and wash gets out what America gets into.
ZAK plays the most music.
Janet Jackson, Anita Baker, Bobby Brown, Stevie Wonder.
Now they're playing even more music.
Everybody I know listens to ZAK.
All my friends are listening.
He doesn't have any friends.
I love this radio station. ZAK is the best radio station in Cleveland.
Announcing Ponderosa's Economic Recovery Plan. 1. The recession-fighting lunch. Ponderosa's $3.99 lunch grand buffet, our complete buffet with all kinds of ways to satisfy your appetite without breaking your budget. 2. The reduced spending dinner package. Our petite ribeye dinner just $4.99 with grand buffet and Sunday bar. Ponderosa's Economic Recovery Plan. Come in, recover. Come and get it at Ponderosa.
He was the so-called coaching ace. She was the athlete who ran from the memories of her days on his team. But then Linda Van Heusen fought back. Robin Dorian updates our story on her fight for justice.
He robbed me of my trust. He robbed me of my innocence. He robbed me of just growing up like a normal teenager.
Linda Van Heusen was 11 years old when she met track coach Mike Ibsen. In Redwood City, California, he was known as a wonder coach, training girls who would be contenders for the Olympics. But off the track, Linda claimed in court, Coach Mike was training Linda Van Heusen in sex. It started, she testified, when she was just 13.
I know I didn't consent. I was a child. I didn't consent to having sex with this man.
By the time she was 15, Coach Mike had so convinced Linda that the relationship was special, she had even moved in with his family. Once there, she claimed in court documents, he isolated her from her family and friends. Linda became a slave to his, quote, predatory pathological sexual desires. Last year, Linda Van Heusen slapped Mike Ibsen with a civil lawsuit, claiming he sexually molested her for more than a decade.
This case had nothing to do with money. That was just my only way to bring him to justice.
According to court documents, Linda first saw her 10-year relationship as abuse less than a year after she left Mike's house to pursue a career in law enforcement. Too much time had passed to file criminal charges. There is, however, a criminal charge dating back to 1966. At the time, Mike Ibsen pleaded no contest to contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Court papers state that the minor was a 15-year-old girl.
How could I wake up to something, not do anything about it, and take the chance that some other child will go through the same thing?
For Linda, justice did reign. A jury awarded her $1.1 million in her civil lawsuit against her former coach, Mike Ibsen, for all she had suffered.
He stole my childhood, and you can't put any dollar price on that.
There was no comment from Mike Ibsen, who denied the allegations of sexual abuse.
The hard part is that he walked away from the courtroom, and he walked away because I couldn't take him to criminal court, and he is still coaching children. He is still free, and he doesn't have a right to be free. But there isn't anything I can do about that.
Ibsen filed a motion for a new trial yesterday. Well, you've made it clear over the last few days that you don't agree with the so-called Washington experts. They say Bill Clinton is a shoo-in to win the election next month. Our hotline polls have been painting a different picture, and last night you made it overwhelming. We asked you who you plan to vote for now that the debates are wrapped up. Your clear choice? President Bush. He was backed by 46% of the people who called